12 to 16. That's what it is. That's what they do. Oops. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishnaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Mancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we are discussing about verses Srimad Bhagavatam first canto 17th chapter verses 12 to 16. Which entitled about Pariksit Maharaj asks the bull about the perpetrator. So we'll just start with verse number 12. Ko Vrishabhtava Padam Strim Saurebhya Chatushpada Mabuvam Tvadrisha Rastri Rajnam Krishnanuvartinam. So, translation. He, Maharaj Parikshit, repeatedly addressed and questioned the bull thus, O son of Surabhi, who has cut off your three legs? In the state of the kings who are obedient to the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, there is no one as unhappy as you. Purport. The kings are the executive heads of all states must know the codes of Lord Krishna, generally Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and must act accordingly in order to fulfill the mission of human life, which is to make an end to all miseries of material conditions. One who knows the codes of Lord Krishna can achieve this end without any difficulty. In the Bhagavad Gita, in a synopsis, we can understand the codes of Godhead, and in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the same codes are explained further. In a state where the codes of Krishna are followed, no one is unhappy. Where such codes are not followed, the first sign is the three legs of the representative of religion are cut off, and thereby all miseries will follow. When Krishna was personally present, the codes of Krishna were being followed without question. But in his absence, such codes are presented in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam for the guidance of the blind persons who happen to be at the helm of all empires. Hare Krishna. So this actually the entire chapter is talking about biography of Parikshit Maharaj. Basically, like what and all he did and where he's going and what he's doing and what he's seeing and everything. So this is very very important topic actually. Like, in present age, this topic, that especially from here onwards, all whatever you are seeing, like those are very very important verses. You can say that. So this is the right. This is the time when actually Krishna left that to his abode, Golok, Vrindavan, and Yudhishthira Maharaj is actually ruling the kingdom, and that's also his time for him to retire, because when Krishna is not there here, now he doesn't want to rule the kingdom because they are feeling separation from Krishna, and they also want to go back. And when Krishna is there in this world, there is no adharma. Everything is dharmic, so no Kali, nothing was there that time. As soon as Krishna left this world, like went back to his abode, then the Kali slowly started coming inside. And this Maharaj is feeling very much separation, and they're like, no, we cannot stay much longer because Krishna is not there anymore. And they all want to go back to forest and they want to retire like that. Now, this Maharaj decided, now I can coronate Maharaj Parikshit and I can go back. So that's what this Maharaj coronated Parikshit Maharaj. And as soon as Parikshit Maharaj took over the kingdom, and Krishna and Pandavas all they left, and Kali sees this and chance actually. Now this is the time I can enter this kingdom, because like the influence of Kali is so much so that it in fact impacted the Brahmanas as well. As well like normally the Brahmanas' duty is to look after everybody. If somebody did a mistake, they don't want to see it as a mistake. They just want to see a higher purpose. But Parikshit Maharaj did a mistake here, like putting a snake on his Shringi's father. But Srinivas, as a Brahmana, aims in a higher purpose. Okay, he's a king, but he did mistake. I should have like ignored him and move forward. But as Kali is already entered the kingdom of the Parikshit Maharaj, Shringi went ahead and cursed the Parikshit Maharaj. That is the indication of Adharma started in the kingdom of Islam. And Parikshit Maharaj didn't do anything, but he took the curse, he actually uh, going to be hearing to this Bhagavatam and all. So basically, like, in this Dharma, in this Kali, is basically starting at the fourth leg right now here, truthfulness, because all the three legs are cut off by the. So that's what Parikshit Maharaj is looking here. So what is happening here? Like in my kingdom, no one should hurt actually. But here I see like three legs of the bull are cut off. There's one more leg is left. It's almost going to cut off. There's a person who is actually dressing up like a king, but he's behaving like a Shudra. Right? That's what is happening because the Shudra is actually what he is a low class man actually. So they cannot he cannot be king anytime actually. So Prabhupada always gives the example like if you give a even if you sit a dog on the kingdom chair of the king, even if she's some kind of a shoe or something like that, it will immediately jump and go and lick the shoes. It will not change his behavior. That's what the mentality of the dog actually. Similarly, the low class men they cannot do things anytime. So, but here he's dressed up as a king, but he's actually trying to kill the bull and cow. So no, he found Parikshit Maharaj. He found the bull there, and there is a Sudra, the low caste man, is dressed as a king and beating the bull, and he broke three legs of it. And cow what is doing? It is crying very much because it lost its calf, her calf, like, and she didn't find it, and she's crying. And she's very very frightful by looking at the Kali, and maybe he's going to kill me next after bull. Like he already beaten very bad, and he's going to kill me next. That's what he thought. On seeing this situation, Parikshit Maharaj gets very very angry, and he's like, well, because up until that point, no one in the kingdom shed any tears in the kingdom. That's how the kingdom is actually ruled by his ancestors, Pandavas, and everybody. They didn't do any harm for the ruler, Praja. Like they are also very happy in the kingdom actually. But the first time there's a bull, that is not a human, it's animals, they're actually crying here. Because everybody treated equal in their kingdoms. Right now that so by saying it actually he was very angry. He's astonishing and thinking like I'm in an illusion or something like that. What is happening here actually? Because I'm ruling the kingdom very perfectly, but something is happening. Is it illusion or Maya? Some demigods they are trying to trick on me. They come in the form of like Kali and the Bull. They are trying to test me like this. Because the previous examples in Bhagavatam, like animals will come as a human beings. They want to test the people and see like whether he's really a king or not, something like that. So Parikshit Maharaj is thinking like that actually. He's saying like, am I seeing whatever he's seeing is correct actually? Or some demigods came and is trying to test me here. So that's what it is like. And so as it's like in Satyayuga, like Dharma is on the four legs, and Satyam, Saucham, Daya, and Tapa. And in Treta Yuga, one leg is become diminished. The Tapa, there's no meditation was there. That leg is diminished. And when it comes to Dwapara Yuga, two more legs were gone, like Tapa and Saucham. There's nothing was there. In Kali Yuga, all the three legs are done. Like there's no Tapa, there is no Saucham, there is no Daya. There's only one thing left was truthfulness, like Satyam actually. So this last leg is standing is Satyam actually. So who is telling the lies and basically to destroy the truthfulness as well. Because that's what happening now. Because like there's no nowadays we can see like most of the people like how much ever you talk, we don't know like whether really they're talking truth or not. Are they really trying to express what they want to say or not or something like that. So that's why like in Srimad Bhagavatam there is a one more verse is there actually like कृत्य ध्यायते विष्णु त्रेतयां यजतो मखः द्वापरे परिचार्यायं कलौ तद् kirtana. Whatever result was obtained in Satyayuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwapara Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can be obtained in Kali Yuga by simply chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because there is no alternative. That's what we can do it. Other than we cannot do anything else here. Because everything is destroyed right now. So that's why like when we go and tell to the people that what you want to do, what you want to read and everything, they don't want to believe in us actually. Because people like they want to hear what they want to hear, they want to see what they want to see. Even if you say that this is a higher purpose, you need to do this one actually, it will elevate you in higher planets or like you'll go back to Godhead like because if you read these books and people are very agitated to even take it up. When you go for book discussion, we all see the examples like, oh, I already have it, I know it, so I don't need to know about it. So I'm from India, look, I know it. Even like that I'm happening. So that's why like so there's an example of two ants. One ant is actually always eating the sugars. Ants basically eat up sugar, right? But other ant is actually eating the salt. So one ant is eating sugar and one is eating the salt. Actually. One time like there's a big flood happening, and the ant which is eating salt, which is in the water, it came to the ant where the ant is eating sugar. And because it's everything is gone, whatever he has and everything is gone, and the ant which is eating sugar, he actually gives some sugar to the ant which is eating salt. As soon as the ant which takes the sugar, it immediately spit it because that is completely new to him actually. He always used to eating salt and he never tasted the sugar. He said, "What is this? Why is like why is like this?" I don't like it actually. And after some time, the ant which is eating sugar, they found out he kept something in the salt here actually. He just asked, "What is inside your mouth?" He said, "Like this is salt actually. Why are you eating salt?" Ants means we are supposed to eat sugars, right? So, but he doesn't want to take because he's taking the bad thing into his mind and everything. He's only living on that actually. He doesn't want to taste the sugar actually, the nectar, whatever we are actually giving to people, right? They don't want to take it. They want to have that bitterness only. They want to taste that salty thing in their life. So nobody wants to taste this nectar and they want to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. That's why like the people are like Kali Yuga just like that actually. There's no dharma. It's all adharma only. They don't want to hear good things. They all want the bad things. So that's why like and when I'm reading this chapter, I remember my place because I'm from village background. So we used to have the bulls in our house. Yeah, so I used to go for grazing and everything. And if there is a festival, we used to go to nearby canal. We used to wash the bulls nicely with everything, make it very, very clean and everything. Then I'll decorate with the ornaments and put the tilak and everything. And I used to take care of very nicely. I used to get the grass for the green grass and everything, feed them, getting the grass for them. And we used to sleep next to them on. There's one shelter, and the wolves will be next to them. I used to sleep next to them. So really, I miss those days when I'm like reading this chapter. I remember those days, and because I used to go for farming and I used to plow the field also. I used to go with my father and so whole day like I used to do sometime like 1 hour or 2 hours. I used to do like even though I'm not perfect, but I used to do some amount of manage. So that's why like when I heard this like about the bulls and everything, now because of the technology and everything, everything is gone. There's no more bulls, there's no more cows, everything is like tractors and everything came into the lives of the people and it's all like mechanical now. That affections and all is not there right now. Yeah, so this is the basically this verse is talking about is a Pariksit is a Maharaj is a conqueror, the world and one low class man is actually dressed as a king and is trying to kill it actually. So now is called a Nakli king because the Sudra which is basically is called a Nakli king because it's not real, it's a fake actually. That's why we see that most of the time it's all fake all over the internet everywhere. Fake smiles, fake relations, and fake girls and fake profiles, and everything is a fake. Until you know that person in person, you don't realize that it is a real or fake, right? Even people maybe put their smiles into the face, but what is there inside, it's like we don't know until. So it's very, very hard to believe like when they're talking truth or not. So the material world is basically becoming Nakli. That's what Kali is also. He's also Nakli. He's a fake here. He's not real king. Real king is always look after their pleasure, but they don't want to look about the other things actually. So I had one example like Charlie Chaplin. He came to Ohio one time actually, and there's a fair is going on, and in the fair there's a contest like who can best imitate the Charlie Chaplin. So that's what the contest is and everybody is trying. And Charlie Chaplin said, "Okay, I'll also go and participate because let me see like how much whether I'll come first or not." But Chaplin came in the 13th or 14th position actually. Because the people who are like better than him, they acted very nicely actually. So like everything is fake here, so you understand like oh, okay, whatever I'm thinking in the stage, it's not real in the outside actually. Like that's what he's like. And there are two slokas actually in Bhagavad Gita. It says like one is in the third chapter, one is in the 18th chapter, which is about talking about better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. Um, those two slokas are like in third chapter we have these things will to repeated twice in the Bhagavad Gita actually. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigraha Paradharma Anustita Swadharme Nidanam Shreya Paradharmo Bhavayu. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than another's duty perfectly. That's what Kali is doing it here. Instead of doing his Shudra duty, you want to become like a king and you want to do imitate somebody here. That's what he's doing here. Distraction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties. For to follow another's path is dangerous. That's what he's doing here. It's very, very dangerous to follow. The same shlokas is displayed in the end of the 18th chapter, 18.47. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigraha Paradharma Swarastita Swabhava niyatam karma kuruvan napnoti kilvisham. It is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. That's what Kali is doing here. Duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions. Because even if you do your own dharma, if you do something, anything bad, it will not going to impact because you are doing your own dharma. That's what we need to do. And we should not see somebody and we try to imitate it. That's not going to work actually. So that's why like here the basically the actions are mismatched between the king and the king alike like Shudra Kali here actually. So because that's what we can see most of the politicians here. They'll talk one thing and they'll do one thing. So that's why like the leader. Basically, this chapter is talking about who is the eligible leader actually, who is the perfect leader and what are his qualities. That's what this entire chapter is talking about. Basically, the Pariksit Maharaj is the best example for that. And I also heard one example of about this dharma doing his own duty. I heard like one of the example like Alwars, the six Alwars. One of the Alwars, he actually used to plunder the riches. So he goes go there and get all the money from there. And he used to build for the building the Ranganatha temple actually. Because he's doing it like but he's a great soul actually. And he's doing it for the better cause. You want to build the Ranganatha temple, but you don't have money, what you can do? Just go and plunder all the riches and get the money and you build the temple. So that's how like the people are like so we don't find any kind of these people in this world right now. So basically, the personification of dharma is the bull, and the tolerance is Mother Earth here. So they are the number one target here. Dharma and truth, dharma and tolerance. They are the main things that we need to follow in Kali Yuga. They are actually targeting here. The Kali targeting both of them actually, trying to destroy. So and that's what also like Kali and I heard Kali's main goal is target the bad people, right? No, it's not targeting the bad people because bad people are already bad because there cannot be nothing bad for them, right? It's always trying to target the good people only. That's why we see like we all came from outside from the material world and spiritual thing actually and everything right now here we are to follow spiritual things and everything we want to follow everything, but Kali entered inside the devotees and so we have to see that, right? So the Kali will be feel happy when two devotees will fight, and they will actually do envy on each other. They cannot stand on each other, right? So that's why like Kali think, oh, I am successful now because they both are fighting now. Because the bad people, you don't want to go to them because they are already in that mood only. But you want to come inside the devotee's life. That's why like even like we sometimes we came out of all the material relations and everything, but still we find the conflicts here we find the envy and everything want to criticize somebody and also like if we don't like somebody we don't want to stand in front of them we want to go away from them that's the main success of the Kali so that's very important actually so that's why we need to make sure like the only hope is to chanting Hare Krishna to get away throw away the Kali from our lives yeah and the best example we see like the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati at the end of this life all his disciples they are all fighting within themselves. They want to sell the temple, they want to occupy the rooms, they want to get everything for them. It is between the devotees itself. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is like highest, like Guru is like, but the disciples they are not following anything actually. Kali already entered them actually. Like how the Kali entered in the Panchak kingdom, it's already entered in all the devotees' lives. They're all fighting. They want to dismantle the Gaudiya but and everything. That's what Prabhupada has also said that whenever the devotees fight, Prabhupada always said, my heart will pain because this institution, which is very strong, which is not broken by the people from outside, it is broken by the people inside itself because of this Kali's behavior and Kali's pain and everything. So that's why like this verse basically saying about like where whoever is obedient to this laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no one is unhappy as you because he's looking at the bull and cow and he's saying that actually. That's what the shloka is talking about. And let's go on to the next shloka, 17 or 13. आख्याहि वृषभद्रं वा साधूनामकृतागसम् आत्मवैरूप्य कर्तारां भक्तानां कीर्तिदूषणम्. O bull, you are offenseless and thoroughly honest. Therefore, I wish all good to you. Please tell me of the perpetrator of this mutilation. which blocking the reputation of the sons of Pruta. The reputation of the reign of Maharaj Ramachandra and that of the kings who followed in the footsteps of Maharaj Ramachandra, like the Pandavas and their descendants, are never to be forgotten because in their kingdom, offenseless and honest living beings were never in trouble. The bull and the cow are the symbols of the most offenseless living beings because even the stool and urine of these animals are utilized to benefit human society. The descendants of the sons of Pruta, like Maharaj Pariksit, were afraid of losing their reputations. But in the modern days, the leaders are not even afraid of killing such offenseless animals. Herein lies the difference between the reign of those pious kings and the modern states ruled by irresponsible executive heads without knowledge of the codes of the Lord. It's very, very prominent. It completely resembles the world that we are living in right now. Because like Parikshit is looking at the scene and he almost raised the sword and he wanted to just chop off the Kali's head actually. But as a king, right, as a leader, he should not take a decision just like that because he has to get to both the sides. Then only he has to, then only he can be a better leader. Otherwise, you cannot call him as a leader actually. So Parikshit already knows who did this, and he already knows Kali did this. But as a king, you want to confirm from the bull is the truth right or not. He already knows it, but that's what the leader's position will be, right? We should not take sides from one side or another. Actually, we listen to both the sides, and whoever did the wrong, he has to punish them. That's what Parikshit is an ideal king. The leader is doing that actually. So he's asking the bull, "Who did this? Are you sure he's the one who's doing that?" He's just asking actually. In the later chapter, it found out Dharma is the bull. He don't want to even take the name of the Kali also. Actually, you just want to protect the Kali also. That's what the Dharma's position will be like. You don't want to hurt anybody. So as a Parikshit Maharaj is actually taking that actually. So your bull represents the Dharma, the cow represents the mother earth actually. So and also like we also this is so many examples of the things like the Ram and Yudhishthir Maharaj and everything. And they also rule very much like this actually. So even if somebody did a mistake, they want to know the reason first before they punishing somebody. So that's what like the internal mood of a devotee king is the servant of the pleasure actually. You want to always serve the people, whether it's the animals or the humans or it doesn't matter actually. You want to serve but everybody actually. And whoever is the mistake, you want to punish them. So and also like do a leader needs to be non-violent? Uh, what do you think? Like did a leader needs to be a non-violent or violent? Violent, right? Yes, it should be a violent sometimes because it's very violence is very very important, right? Because sometimes violence is needed, especially during the national issues. Like if somebody is coming and they want creating some havoc in the country, and the leader said, no, no, that's okay, let's deal with them, and they should be non-violent, and we should not be punished anybody. Then what happens? Entire country will be destroyed. So but that's what the leader should be. You can be non-violent sometime and can be violent for some time. And it said that we have to be non-violent to ourselves actually. Because when we are not non-violent to ourselves, but when we are actually others are get harmed, right? We have to be violent. Because if something happened to us, we should not be like, oh, what happened to me, and something like that. No. So we have to take that as a non-violent thing because it's happened to us, right? So we know we can control ourselves and we can be non-violent. Because if something harm happened to others, but we have to be violent actually. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam is also teaching. Like even if Parikshit actually got a curse from Stingy, and he didn't immediately respond back to Stingy and he want to destroy something like that. He didn't do it as a king. You know that it's happened for some reason. He took it as for himself, and he will be non-violent in that case. He didn't do anything as such actually. So that's what you can see the example of Parikshit there. And also like one time Prabhupada actually went to a guru before he went to guru and he's actually asking uh, what do you think of a non-violence actually like and if something happens like do something someone has did something bad for your disciple what will you do because that guru is a propagator of non-violence actually he always want to propagate the non-violence and Prabhupada asked him like if something happened to your human disciple in front of you what you will do that guru thought for some time he said yes I will be non-violent that woman disciple was like furious. How can he be a non-violent? If something happened to me, then how can he be a guru actually? How can he protect me in that case? And then Prabhupada like lighted the conversation and he just wanted something else. That's like because the guru is actually taking the only one stance. He wants to stand on that, whatever happens. But here, what is happening? Something bad happening to his disciple and he want to protect her, but he's not protecting her actually. He want to just follow the non-violence itself there itself. And so that's what like, when Srila Prabhupada also the violence is needed when some cases definitely it's needed actually whatever Pariksit Maharaj is doing it here. That's what we also need to do actually. And so Prabhupada also gave a clarity on the non-violence. We also know that Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, he's always propagated non-violence. I heard like he also tried letters to other countries like the Winston Churchill or some other countries, telling them you practice non-violence. If Hitler comes to you or attacking you, just open your doors. Don't do anything. Let him come and just kill you, and just be accepted and then die. Then after that he was like completely chastised him actually like and what happened? Gandhi is propagated to non-violence, but he was killed by violence. He always his whole life is like that's what he's practicing actually. So one time in the morning walks, one of the disciples is asking Prabhupada, Prabhupada, like the Gandhis practiced the he read the Bhagavad Gita and practiced the violence. And Arjuna also heard the Bhagavad Gita, but he actually at the end what he did violence actually. So whatever is best, that's what he did. But Gandhi also did Bhagavad Gita, but he didn't do that actually. And Prabhupada said that's not the right in the politics. Doing the why non-violence is not good for the politics. Why? Because if you follow the non-violence in the politics, people will take it as a chance. They will actually do something bad for you actually. Because anyhow you do non-violence, they can go and kill him actually. And that's why like that. So especially we should not bring the non-violence in the politics and administration. So always you should be violent in the situation like that. So and also like Prabhupada mentioned that morning walk, it's India got the independence not because of the non-violence, it's because of the violence by the Subhash Chandra Bose. He made the British rulers scared and they ran away from the India actually because he's the one actually who got the independence for India. That's what Prabhupada said actually. That warning mark. That's what really makes sense because I mean so many lives were lost actually. And many people are died because just follow the non-violence, don't do anything, just accept it, whatever it is. You know, like Jallianwala Bagh and all those things and all right. People simply just put it in the on ground and they just all kill them because nobody want to do it. It went back actually. Right. So and also like the earlier example that we talked about the how Guru was always practiced non-violence. So the same thing happened for Prabhupada also one time like when in Gita Sammelan in India. So all of them are doing chanting, and the women disciples of Prabhupada they also doing chanting on the stage. And some people came onto the stage. They also want to chant and they want to dance and everything. They are doing everything is fine. And one of the guy actually come closer to the Matajis and he almost take the chance of them and he's trying to move closer to them. Immediately, Prabhupada took the katal and throw at him actually. Yes, throw the katals and throw at him. That's what we can see there as a leader, like he's protecting these people actually, whoever is trusting, right? That's what the leader quality of the leader. So even like whatever the position is like when something has happened to the people, he has to protect them. That's what the position of the leader is. So basically, this example, that's what it is like. So the your offenses in Tarosianus, I will just all please tell me the perpetrator, and I will take the who is actually blocking the reputations of the sons of Pruta. That's what this shloka is talking about. And we'll go more to the next shloka, 14. जानेनागसि अगं युञ्जान् सर्वतोऽस्यास्य मद्भयं साधूनां भद्रमेव स्यात् साधु दामने कृते. Whoever causes offenseless living beings to suffer must fear me anywhere and everywhere in the world. By curbing dishonest miscreants, one automatically benefits the offenseless. Dishonest miscreants flourish because of cowardly and impotent executive heads of state. But when the executive heads are strong enough to curb all sorts of dishonest miscreants in any part of the state, certainly they cannot flourish. When the miscreants are punished in an exemplary manner, automatically all good fortune follows. As said before, it is the prime duty of the king or the executive head to give protection in all respects to the peaceful, offenseless citizens of the state. The devotees of the Lord are by nature peaceful and offenseless. And therefore, it is the prime duty of the state to arrange to convert everyone to become a devotee of the Lord. Thus, automatically, there will be peaceful, offenseless citizens. Then, the only duty of the king will be to curb the dishonest miscreants that will bring about peace and harmony all over human society. And look at this. This sloka is like so much Prabhupada is giving a great purport here actually. Whoever causes offenses leading to big suffer must fear me anywhere and everywhere in the world. By curbing dishonest experience, one automatically benefits the offenseless. So basically, the prime duty of a king is leader is actually to convert everyone to become a devotee of the Lord. That's what the shloka is explaining here. And basically, so there are five principles. Um, if you want to become a leader, right? So there are five principles of a great leader. So what the leader will do and everything. That's what the shloka is talking about here. The prime duty of the king of the executive is to give protection to all respects to the peaceful, offenseless citizens of the state. So because people are like peaceful and offenseless, that's why they need to protect the all the king people of this kingdom actually. So there in the Bhagavatam, it's mentioned there are five principles becoming to of a great leader mentioned actually. One is paradukka dukhi, because if somebody is suffering, he is very concerned about them and he think there is suffering as his own suffering, their distress as his own distress actually. That is one of the main quality of leader. It has to be paradukka dukhi. And the second quality of a leader is sarve sukhino bhavantu, and you want to mitigating distress and creating happiness and security actually, because you want to mm, make sure like everybody is being good and everything, everybody is happy and everything. That's what the leader has to take care. He has to do the salvation of Sukhino Bhavan. That's what here, right? The leader has to do that. Then the Shreyas actually. Shreyas means the leader has to create a long lasting value. We can see the Prabhupada as become he is also the leader. We can say like no we are after many years also we are talking about Prabhupada because he created that impression on the people and in the community and in the world actually. That's what a leader should be like. He has to create a long lasting value in the society. And other leader of the quality is Kovida. So basically he is a Kovida because he should see the big picture and he has to be a philosopher actually. And in the sense like whatever the cause which is there behind that he has to see not like what is immediately outcome actually. In the future, what is going to happen? That's what he has to see right. That's what Prabhupada took instruction in the 1922 actually from Bhakti Saraswati Thakur. And all his God with us, once the Bhakti Saraswati Thakur left, they don't want to much worry about anything because they just want to continue the devotion. But the Prabhupada, he didn't do that actually. Like as a Kovida, like he actually did the long-term picture and he see what is the instruction that my Guru gave to me, how can I fulfill it? So because I want to give this benefit to all the people in the world, that's what it should be like. So then last quality will be Sadachari. He leads with a strong character. So these are the five qualities. First will be like one is the Paradukka Dukki, and these are all very deep lovers of the other people because if somebody is suffering, they don't want to see that actually, and they should not be affected by others' distress and feel themselves disturbed actually. So because when somebody is disturbed, we can see the Prahlad Mother example also there. And when Nrsimhadev asked what he wants, Prahlad didn't ask for anything for himself actually. He also he's feeling sad about the people already, and he said like most of the people are there turning away from Krishna. Please give me the opportunity so that I can bring them back to Krishna. You can see the best example that Prabhupada also. He is a Paradukka Dukki actually. We all know example. So basically the leader of the quality of the great leader is he will elevate the conscience of the other people actually. Because he's being a leader, he want to propagate the same thing to rest of the people in the kingdom. It's not only that he has to follow those rules, he has to give it to everybody in the kingdom. We see many examples like that, Yudhishthir Maharaj and Pariksit Maharaj, Lord Ramchandra and all those things like that. And the next one will be great leaders are those who always wants his people to be happy and secure. We can see the example of Maharaj Ambarish from Bhagavatam. They treat others just like the all women as their mother. Because in Maharaj Ambarish case, we'll see like he always used to worship the Lord. Not only he himself worship, and he wants all the people, the people in the kingdom also do the same thing for along with him actually. And the leader does not present immediate gratification but think about the future. That's what the third quality will be. Stay as the good of the people. You always look up the good of the people, right? So we never present immediate gratification. What is happening to me today? Maybe in the next 1 month, no. What is going to happen in the long term actually? That's what the leader has to do it. That's the main quality of the leader. Otherwise, cannot be a leader actually. So leader will basically create the bright future of this kingdom. And also you think of higher than the himself, not for short-term benefit, but for the long-term benefit actually. And the best example I told, like 1922, Gaudiya Math, everything was broken, and all godbrothers are fighting. Prabhupada's godbrothers are all are fighting, but Prabhupada didn't think that they are all fighting. What is there for me to achieve? Because everybody is fighting. What I can do now? Because I don't have anybody. My guru is not there. I can do my own sadhana and everything. I can just be like that. So Prabhupada didn't think like that actually. What he did, he still continued with the instruction of his guru. He just want to propagate this thing to everybody actually. That's how the leader think of the shares of the people, right? So it's not like others are fighting. Okay, let me be quiet and calm. So we have to see the bigger picture. What is the good for everybody in the future, not for the short term benefit. And also, like you see the example of the Dhruva and the Suniti and Narada in the Bhagavatam also, right? And the Dhruva came back to the Suniti, we all know the story, and he said like he was crying because his father don't take him on lap. And Suniti said, "You are crying, I am crying. If you both are crying, only tears will come. Nothing will come out of it actually. If you really want the kingdom, go and pray to the Vishnu." And Dhruva immediately, because she's seeing the future of the in brighter future actually. She's not looking at the immediate benefit. She's not immediately saying, okay, he's not able to sit on his throne, and let's go and fight with him. Let's go and chastise him. And she didn't say that actually. She said, let's go to Vishnu and pray for him. And when he's praying, what Narada Muni came and he said, he just teached all of these things for be tolerant, be nice, be everything. Then Dhruva Maharaj heard everything from Narada Muni, and he said, okay, you do a best lecture. But I don't want all of this one. I want the kingdom, which is greater than my great grandfather. That is what I want. That's what Dhruva said actually. But once Vishnu appeared in front of him, he left everything. He didn't even think of anything else actually. And we all know about the story of that. That's why like leadership be like one has to think about the future of world, not for immediate benefit actually. What is happening coming for me right now? That's what we also need to do. That's what we need to. And also best example Ardas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, and the prostitute came to him, and she wanted to have gratification from him. So Srila Haridas Thakur didn't say no to her. He said, okay, I'll fulfill your desire, but I want to complete my rounds. But so how many rounds? He used to do whole day rounds. Like, this never completed. One day she came, 192 rounds she used to do every day. One day she came, and that day he didn't fulfill the desire. Next day she came. He said, yesterday I didn't fulfill your desire. Please, I will definitely do this today. That day also it happened. Next day again she came. While she is sitting, what she is doing? She is hearing the mantra from Haridas Thakur's pure devotee's mouth actually. And slowly her consciousness slowly improved, and every day. By third day she decided that she is completely changed. And the third day she said, today at any chance, by 100% I will fulfill the desire. And once end of this chanting, and when he's about to go and talk to her, she is completely, no, I don't want anything from you. And I now I understand what actually the big mistake I did. Then actually to take the instruction from the Haridas Thakur, she went outside and she distributed all her wealth and everything. Then she shaved off and she started chanting in front of Tulasi. So that's what the Haridas Thakur as a leader is showing it here, not for immediate benefit. He is not saying it like, no, I'll not do it and everything. Now you already see the future of her, what is going to happen to her actually. So for her best benefit, and he said to her like, okay, just hear this mantra, then you will be purified. That's why you can see in the case of Haridas Thakur as well. So, and I am hearing one quote from Gaurang Dashan Prabhu. He's saying like, preaching means you impact people through your experience, not impact with our words. You show it by example, not simply saying like to other guys doing some giving some lectures or something like that, but show you example. Like so, if they see you that oh, this he's following this Krishna consciousness, he's do chanting and everything is like very nice to people. He's actually doing all the things properly for everybody. Then people think, oh, he's a nice guy, then we just follow him. So we should store by the example by uh, through our experience, not by the our words actually. And also, like I heard one quote from the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das also, Goswami, at the time of death, because he's now we all know Raghunath Das Goswami is actually going to about to die because he's feeling that because he doesn't know he doesn't want to stay in this world, he want to die. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, it's not your body, it's my body. Who are you to take your body? And that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, right? So that's what Krishna said in this one actually. At the time of death, even like if you don't remember Krishna, Krishna forcefully enter into the mind and he will take back to God and into the spiritual world. That's what Krishna will do if like follow all the things properly and everything. Right. So and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Goswami to follow four things. You should be dutiful, thoughtful, merciful, and careful. These are the four things he told Raghunath Das Goswami. Dutiful, just perform your responsibilities properly. That is your duty. You have to do your things. You should not ignore and go away. Like Arjuna, right? Krishna told Arjuna to Bhagavad Gita, perform your duty. So okay, whatever happened there, that's later we can see it actually. As a Kshatriya, that is your dharma, you have to follow it. So you have to be dutiful, perform your responsibilities properly. Then you have to be thoughtful. What is thoughtful? Krishna is the controller and I am the servant of the Krishna. We have to always thought about it. We cannot be controller anytime. Krishna is the only controller. We have to be servant of him. And merciful. Whatever privileges I have received from Krishna consciousness, let me share with others. We have to be merciful to others actually. Because nothing else, with our own endeavor, nothing has come actually. Somebody has given to us. With somebody's mercy, we received all of this knowledge and everything, right? We never come up with our own things. So we have to be, we are share with others also. So that's why you have to be merciful to others. Then finally, you have to be careful. Careful from the deviation from the Maya actually. Because Maya is the only one who take away from Krishna. So you have to be very, very careful when you are doing this bhakti. So these are the four things that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami. You have to be dutiful, thoughtful, merciful, and careful. These are the four things. So these are the five qualities of the leader. He has to be Paradukka Dukki, and is Sarvejana Sukhino Bhavantu, and is a Shreyas. Is look after the everybody's goodness, and Kovida. He has to be a good philosopher, looking at the future of the world, and he has to be Sadachari. Sadachari means he deals with a strong character. Whatever he is doing, right, has to be with a strong character. That's what we can see in this verse actually, in the 14th verse. And we'll move to the next sloka, 1.7.15. अनागस्वह्य भूतेषु यायागस्कृन्निराङ्कुश अहर्तास्मि भुजं साक्षात् अमर्त्यस्यापि संगदम्. Translation. An upstart living being who commit offences by torturing those who are offenceless shall be directly uprooted by me, even though he be a denizen of heaven with armor and decorations. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The denizens of the heavenly kingdom are called Amara, or deathless, due to their possessing a long span of life, far greater than that of the human beings. For a human being who has only a maximum of 100-year duration of life, a span of life spreading over millions of years is certainly considered to be deathless. For example, from the Bhagavad Gita, we learn that on the Brahmaloka planet, the duration of one day is calculated to be 43 lakhs into 1,000 solar years. Similarly, in other heavenly planets, one day is calculated to be 6 months of this planet, and the inhabitants get a life of 10 millions of their life years. Therefore, in all higher planets, since the span of life is far greater than that of the human being, the denizens are called deathless by imagination. Although actually no one within the material universe is deathless. Maharaj Pariksit challenges even such denizens of heaven if they torture the offenseless. This means that the state executive head must be strong as Maharaj Pariksit, so that he may be determined to punish the strongest offenders. It should be the principle of state executive head that the offender of the courts of God is always punished. This is the best example of a leader. He is actually going not only in the earthly planet. He is saying even if that offender is from the denizens of the heaven, you just want to go and kill them. That's how the leader should be. Strong leader should be. And also, like recently, like especially India after Modi government came, we see the terrorist activity came very much down because he's actually internally he's doing so much thing. They're fearful of the government actually. They don't want to do anything actually the country. So not like that, but just not like Parishad Maharaj, but as a in the material world, we can see just one kind of example like that. Actually. Yeah, that's what we can get it here actually, not much. And also there's some kind of dharma also, maybe not completely. Maybe we think like that Sanatana Dharma is supporting and everybody. And some people are like very against him, and they're very hatred of him. Because last time when I went to India, nobody's liking him. Because as in US, we don't see like what is going in the ground reality and everything. Because at the day to day, they can see like what is happening. For us, we can see like okay, he's coming and he's endorsing ISKCON, and he's supporting the Hindu Dharma. He's coming, building up so many temples, and that's all we can see. But compared to the previous leaders, he's better actually. We can say he's actually trying to propagate his Dharma. And wherever he goes, we all know like he distribute the Bhagavad Gita and everything. So he's just kind of a normal leader, but not like stature of Pariksit Maharaj. So this age about basically it's all about the people lives. Right? So Parikshit Maharaj, even though a politician, he should be a saintly king. That's what the politician should be. He should not be only a politician. He has to be saintly also. Because whatever he is following, he wants to distribute to the kingdom, the people also. Yeah, that's how the king should be. It's not like that only I am following. The people let them go anywhere they want to go. They could do anything they want to do. It's not like that actually. So basically he's asking again. Parikshit Maharaj is asking the bull like, "Who are you? Are you a demigod who came from the heavenly kingdom and you're trying to test me here? Huh? You tell me like because you know that only one thing he realized was like that the demigods their feet will not touch the ground. Then he confirmed that okay, he's not a demigod because the bulls their feet are touching in the ground. He thinks that okay, he's not a demigod. He's basically the bull. That's what he thought about it. And we also know that like in the why you got a thought because in the Vedas we see that sometimes animals will speak. We are this best example is like Sukadeva Goswami, the parrot actually, right? So yeah, when Shiva is telling the Bhagavatam to Parvati, Parvati slept, but the parrot keep on hearing and everything. He heard the entire Bhagavatam when Shiva is speaking this Bhagavatam. And as soon as Shiva opened his eyes and saw Parvati is sleeping, then who heard this Bhagavatam? Then he found out that the parrot is speaking here. Then Shiva was like, go after the parrot and trying to kill the parrot. And the parrot finally it went to the Sukadeva Goswami's mother. It went inside the body of the uh, Vasudeva's wife actually. So that's why like we know the animals will speak. That's what like here the Dharma is also speaking. That's what it does. Like, are you really an animal or like you're something else? That's what Parikshit Maharaj is questioning here about the bull and everything. So here actually this word not that we say the bull potential. We say it's good those who are offending the offender. Yeah, yeah. This kind of the offender is the demigod. Right. With the arms and the necklace. Kill them also, yes. I'm saying like because here Parikshit Maharaj again coming to the conclusion that are you really a bull or not here? Like yeah, you already know that if somebody, whatever the person is actually doing the heinous act, even if you're demigod, he's going to kill them actually. He's not going to spare them. But he's talking in terms of the bull actually here. So are you really a bull or like somebody else actually? And that's what he's talking about here. Yeah. And then Maharaj Parikshit is not coming to a conclusion here, and he's taking time and he's doing an investigation here actually. And also like the bull and cow are in distress. Kali is an aggressor here, and there's an important lesson we should do is as a king, you should not take the sides. And he has to decide before doing anything for them, and that's what like basically here Maharaj Parikshit is saying like he's explaining this Prabhupada explaining in the purport like the lifespan of the people will be very very higher in higher kingdoms and everything, and even if they are like they are that much great people like who can live for that much long time, I'm not going to spare them, and so I'm going to kill them. That's what Maharaj Parikshit is challenging them actually, and Prabhupada also mentioned here. That's how the state executive should be. He must be strong as Maharaj Parikshit, and he must determined to punish the strongest offenders. He should be the principal of the state executive head, and the offender of the courts of God is always punished. And that's very very important thing we need to do. And because Maharaj, why he's saying this? Because Maharaj Parikshit's forefathers and everything, they always protected the cows. So it's also my duty to protect these animals also, not only the human beings, right? That's why he's showing the compassion towards the both bull and cow here. That's why he's taking that stance. I don't want to leave anybody, even if they're from the heavenly kingdom. I don't want to spare them. I just want to kill them. That's how my stance will be. Because my ancestors, they are actually stick to this point. Like they always protect everybody in the pressure, not only somebody. That's why like, and we also see the plight of the earth now, like because the earth is like very very important. So because of the global warming and everything, like many things are happening around here, and it is like almost burdened with so many things here right now. So there's no leader to protect them as well. Everybody talking about it, but they don't want to really take an action. What is actually needs to be done for the people around it. Yeah, and yeah, we go on to the next last sloga for today. राज्ञो हि परमो धर्म स्वधर्मास्तानुपालनम् शाश्वतोऽन्यथा शास्त्रम् अनापदि उपतान्याम्. Translation. The supreme duty of the ruling king is to give all protection to law-abiding persons and to chastise those who stray from the ordinance of the scriptures in ordinary times when there is no emergency. Purport. In the scriptures, there is mention of apad dharma or occupational duty at times of extraordinary happenings. It is said that sometimes the great sage Vishwamitra had to live on the flesh of dogs in some extraordinary dangerous position. In case of emergency, one may be allowed to live on the flesh of animals of all description. But that does not mean that there should be regular slaughterhouses to feed the animal eaters and that the system should be encouraged by the state. No one should try to live on flesh in ordinary times simply for the sake of the palate. If anyone does so, the king or the executive head should punish him for this gross enjoyment. There are regular scriptural instructions for different persons engaged in different occupational duties, and one who follows them is called Swadharmasta, or faithful in one's prescribed duties. In Bhagavad Gita, it is advised that one should not give up his occupational prescribed duties, even if they are not always flawless. Such swadharma might be violated in cases of emergency. If one is forced by circumstances, but they cannot be violated in ordinary times. The state executive head is to see that such swadharma is not changed by the follower, whatever it may be, and he should give all protection to the follower of swadharma. The violator is subject to punishment in terms of the Shastra, and the duty of the king is to see that everyone strictly follows his occupational duty as prescribed in the scriptures. So here this sloka is saying about what is the supreme duty of the ruling king actually. So its duty is to give protection to the all law-abiding persons and to chastise those who stray from the ordinance of the scriptures in ordinary times when there is no emergency. So we can say like here, you know, how to establish dharma, right? Krishna says two verses in the Bhagavad Gita. One is yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyudayamadasya. Yeah. Then the one more thing is paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam. That means what? These two verses basically discuss about Krishna's mission actually, right? To establish the dharma. And it is only indicates that not only it's only Krishna's mission actually, it's everybody's mission to do it actually. It's not like only Krishna has to do, yours has to come and do it this dharma. It's not like whoever is doing it, they have to make sure that adharma is not there here actually. So like even the but people who are following Krishna consciousness also, they also have to follow this dharma. So what is if something is bad going on, it's our duty is to do fight against it actually. It's not only simply look at it and just leave it like that. So that's what the sloka is saying. Whoever is actually the persons who are in the executive position, they are there to uphold the dharma, including the rulers such as the kings and presidents and everybody. Actually. It's not only for the normal people, like everybody has to do it. The rules, kings and president, they have the higher authority, they have the more powers. They can do many things actually. Even we may not to do everything in our own position and everything, but they have the higher authority, they can do it actually. That's what it is saying here. So what is dharma? Dharma means dharmastu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. This is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, sixth chapter, sixth canto, third chapter, 19th verse actually. It says, um, so, yeah, I'm just opening it. Yeah, dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam navai vidur rishyo napi devaha nasiddha mukhya ashar manushyaha kutonu vidyadara charanadaya. Real religious principles are enacted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although fully situated in the mode of goodness, Even the great rishis who occupy the topmost planet cannot ascertain the real religious principles, nor can the demigods or the leaders of Siddhaloka. To say nothing of the asuras, ordinary human beings, with Vidyadharas and Charanas. That is the real religious principles. So basically, it is saying like whatever the laws which are man-made, they are actually not perfect. So we cannot, because it's only awareness that we are making. So what we need to do, we have to follow the rules which is made by the God on the Krishna himself actually. So the man-made laws can be changed, but the Krishna's laws never be changed actually, because those are the rules which is already set by the entire humanity for the entire Kali Yuga, and not only for certain time actually. That's what we can see in Bhagavad Gita. It is there from 5,000 years. It stays still there now. It stays in the future also, because still going because it was spoken by the Krishna. That's why the rules set by the Krishna, right? And here he is giving an example of Vishwamitra Muni, and he ate the dog's meat in some certain circumstances. Even Prabhupada also used to mention, if nothing is there, that's okay. You can go and eat the animal's meat. But if there is so many things that exist in outside in the world, why you want to go and kill the animals? Why you want to open the slaughterhouses? And if you really want to open slaughterhouses, make everything visible. Don't close all the walls and everything and do your own duty everything. Because they're suffering inside. They're like the soundproof, the glasses and everything they'll keep inside the slaughterhouses. Nobody should hear anything like that actually. And when I was in there, I used to see like one thing actually, the Kabela. I wonder like there's nothing outside, we don't see anything actually. Everything is completely the walls. Everything happens in the back actually, like everything inside. That's how the slaughter of the people, the rulers also they are also encouraging nowadays. Earlier, even if somebody, even if something in one when I was there, like the bull actually died in my family itself. So we didn't do anything. We just went, we dig the big hole and we just buried the bull and everything. That's what we did. But nowadays people are like they're not even doing it. When it's almost about the old age, they're going to sell it to the somebody. You start around this actually. They don't have even that concern. Like it served me for so much time, and it gave me the milk. Like it plowed the land and carried the so many things for me, and they don't have that even that bit of like mercy also. Like they just want to give it away. The people are not even following the real religious rules actually here. So that's why like the Buddha who came actually who actually established all these things. People are like completely into the animal slaughtering and everything. He came and he actually established the rules and taking the people away from this killing of the animals and everything. And that's what the God's rules will be like. He always look after the people and whenever he comes, right? So that's what he's saying. Like we should not. There are some provisions will be there, but it cannot be made into the rule actually. Okay, exceptions can be made to the rule, but rules cannot be made into the exceptions cannot be made into the rules actually. Sometimes. Okay, yesterday I worked so much hard, like I cannot able to complete my rounds or something like that. Okay, every day I do the same thing. Like I can give an exception and I can continue to do like that actually. So we should never make an exception to the rules. Actually. It's only for the in emergency cases. Whenever we want to do it, we should not supposed to do it as well. And and also like we all know like you compare both between the animals and the human beings. And our diet is our body is not made to eat the meat actually. It's only for the animals because they have the teeth and everything. They have the digestive system and everything. But the people are not even realizing that. People love their dogs and cats, but they want to eat up everything, whatever they want to eat, because they're not seeing it, what is happening behind it. It's all because of the kings who are ruling this world. They are the ones actually supporting it here because they are lobbying and all those things. They want the money, they want the power and everything. They want to support all the people, like even the gun violence and everything that is happening. Many lives are going away, but still people are leaders are not taking anything. They were just want to just okay, this is one more incident. Let's move on. There's one more incident. Let's move on. We don't want to worry much about it. All of this stuff. And that's what Prabhupada is clearly mentioned. Like in at the last stages, like even on the bed also, he said only 50% of my mission is completed. I have over 50% to do it. Like everyone wants to establish Varnashrama Dharma. That's what Prabhupada said in the last moment. I think that means what he wants to establish religious principles, rules, and all these ashramas and everything, form communities and everything. He want to establish them. That's what Prabhupada's desire will be. So still, like luckily, like in some places, still it's going on, but it's not happening everywhere. But that's what the role of a leader. He has to support the temples and they has to see like what the needs for them and how can they support the temples and everything. That's what we need to do, but it's not happening yet. So Prabhupada always talk about this varnashrama dharma actually, because when we are doing the farming and follow this mm, occupations and everything, there's no harm in anything actually. There's no duplicity actually. Only when you plant seed, the tree will go actually. Like outside world, even if you don't do work or anything like, you will get a salary and anything like that. Even if you don't do your duty, whatever the things you want to get, you will get it. But in the farming, that's not going to happen. Only you feed the grass to the cow, will give the milk. Only you sow the seed, the plant will come out. Even if you grow something, like it will come. That's not, there's no duplicity. That's why the farming is the best occupation that everyone has to do actually. That's a dharma. That's why Varnashrama dharma that everyone has to follow. That's what Prabhupada always used to insist actually. And dharma is determined by the both karma and guna, both activities and also by the qualities of the people actually. And that's why Bhagavad Gita mentioned system verses. So Krishna is saying to Arjuna about his dharma and what karma he have to be done. The dharma is to fight, and karma is you have to, as a Kshatriya, you have to protect the people actually. Whoever is doing the bad things, you have to chastise. Krishna is telling them. That's what dharma is mainly talking about here. So we have to do our duty all the time. There's no escape from it. Also. Because when we came to Krishna consciousness, that the thing is we have to follow four regulative principles, chanting and everything. We have to continue doing that. We should not supposed to escape from that actually. Yeah. And also like we also the best example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also showed the Dharma, re-established Dharma when he came back here. When Jagai Madai actually hurted Nityananda Mahaprabhu, he simply just didn't see and just left it like that. Just immediately released it. Sudarshan Chakra. Then Nityananda Mahaprabhu came and stopped him. That means what? Everyone coming here, they are establishing the Dharma actually. If they see something bad, they want to re-establish it. They don't want to simply see him and going, just moving away from that actually. So that means like everybody, Krishna established Dharma and Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why everywhere, like wherever we go there, that's why these chapters mainly talking about Dharma. How can we re-establish it? How can we, when you're doing occupational duties, how can we see things around? How can we act when we see something bad? How can we be like good to everybody, right? That's what like all these chapters are talking about. So that's what like as a Krishna conscious devotees, that's what our dharma will be. We have to do distributions and like, reminding the people about their dharma, what they want to do it actually. And so what they will do, they will say like, I don't have time now, and it's very early to start the bhakti and Krishna consciousness and everything. That's what they'll do. But we'll keep on trying and trying and trying. And one day maybe they'll come back to us, and we'll just try to connect back to Krishna and everything. That's why the Bhagavad Gita is the best manual to re-establish dharma, and the people are not ready to take it. But as a leader, you have to keep trying it as a human being. You have to keep trying to re-establish dharma and propagate this dharma to everybody in this world. And that's what this sloka is mentioning it here. Only in emergency we should not follow dharma. Like we just that's okay. We can go ahead and can do something else. Like the example of given the Vishwamitra Muni, he has to live on the flesh of the dogs because there's nothing else is there that time. There's no option. He has to go and eat. And that doesn't mean that you have to open the slaughterhouses to feed the animal eaters and everything, because it is encouraged by the state itself. So we are not supposed to do that. And also, like here it's mentioned that swadharmasana, that is the main thing we have to do it here actually. We have to faithful to one's prescribed duties. That's the main word you can look at here actually. And one should not give up his occupational duties even if they are not flawless. Yeah. And they might be violated in case of emergency. One is forced by circumstance, but they cannot be violated in ordinary times. Yes. So yeah, it's almost done. So in 9 here, yeah, the 16 verse. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Any questions, Prabhu? Any comments? Any questions? Okay. Offenseless? No, I think for the animals it's not going to affect actually, right? Offense is only for the humans. Whatever the animals they are doing, there's no sins for them actually. Because of the past sins they came in this world, they are suffering already. So there's no way they can do sins. Their duty is to, if they want the food, they'll go and attack somebody and they'll kill them, they just eat it. But for a human being, so it's an offenseless. But in animals, it's not going to be affected actually. Offenses only for the human because we are doing karma. From the karma, we'll get the reactions. Based on that, we'll get all the sins and everything. But the animals, they are not doing anything wanted. What is their dharma? They are doing it actually. Because of the past sins, they came in this world, they are suffering already their pains, their sins. So there's no nothing for animals.
I also had couple of thanks for thoughts and presentation on these verses. Yeah, I really like that point that how a leader should be. You made those five things, right? Para dukha dukhi and so on and so forth. I was just thinking, of Srila Prabhupada, and you also touched upon that how Prabhupada is, he exemplifies by his own self that how these five things can be imbibed. I like that point, but at the same time, I was thinking. So I read somewhere that in the beginning you mentioned that in Treta Yuga one leg was destroyed, then Dwapar Yuga the
Two more.
two more,
Treta Yuga one leg and Dwapara Yuga two more.
the second leg was destroyed,
Yes.
and then in Kali Yuga the third leg
Three legs were
is
destroyed.
destroyed, and now Bull is standing on just one leg.
One leg, something.
But I thought I read somewhere that all the three legs were cut by Kali Yuga himself.
Yeah, Kali only cut himself, but this one, all of them are already destroyed, right? This one, Bull is standing on only one leg right now. That is the Satyam, the truthfulness. He's almost about to destroy that one as well.
But
That's
who
why
cut the other three legs?
Kali himself cut it.
But you are saying that first leg was cut in Treta Yuga, so Kali Yuga went in Treta Yuga?
No, not cut actually. I wasn't. It is diminished actually. I'm saying.
Progressing. So
It's
he
not
is
whether.
always coming so more closer and closer. So
Right.
that's what he's cutting. But he's the one culprit because he's the other side, like he's the back side of the road. So,
Cutting in the sense like it's actually diminishing actually. Because Kali not himself went and cut it actually. When the age is progressing, one by one quality actually coming down. So in Treta Yuga, Tapa, the meditation is coming down. Nobody is doing the meditation that time. In Dwapar Yuga, Tapa and Social, they both came down. Nobody is practicing them actually. In Kali Yuga, the three of them are nobody is doing it actually. Right? The only thing which is left is only truthfulness. Little bit here and there actually. Now Kali wants to cut that one as well. So by the end of the Kali Yuga, that's not going to be there also actually. Because everything going to be diminished and there's no truthfulness also not exist anymore actually. Now itself we see that actually, right? Nowadays, like, how many people will be truthful?
Yeah, I was hearing this that why truthfulness is still remaining. And it will remain because if we think about it, truthfulness, generally people, even those who lie, they speak truth most of the time. Like, okay, what time is it right now? 9:15. That's truth.
Yes.
And are you hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry. It's truth,
Yes.
right? So what color clothes you're wearing? I'm wearing white. It's truth.
Yeah.
But then, did you steal money? No, I didn't steal money. Oh, that's a lie.
That lie.
So like that, generally they speak truth, but then to get some benefit, they will not be afraid to lie. So that is why this truthfulness is still standing, but for not very long. Yeah. Then I also like that point of violence.
Yes.
I was thinking that Srila Prabhupada has given examples in Nectar of Instruction that when one can become angry, Vachovegam, Manasa, Krodhavegam. So Krodh means anger, right? So in that purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that how the Krodh, anger can be used in the service of Krishna also. And who used it? Hanuman.
Hanuman, yes. Yeah.
Hanuman, he went and put fire in Lanka. So he used his violence, he used his anger, but in order to please Lord Ram. Then, second example Prabhupada gives was Arjun. He fought aggression with anger, with aggression only he can fight, and with that he pleased Lord Krishna. Third example, these two examples are of devotee, but the third example Srila Prabhupada gives is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. He showed his anger to Jagai and Madhura. Yeah. So, in all three cases, Srila Prabhupada says that first case, and second case is to please and to follow the instructions of the Lord. And the third one we can see that whenever, so first case was to protect a devotee and to please Lord Ram. Right? Second is to protect dharma and to please Lord Krishna. And third one is to protect devotees only. So whenever devotees are hurt, a devotee, like for example, someone in Bangladesh, so many attacks happen.
Right.
So in such case, or whenever somebody comes and here does something to our Radha Natbar or to Srila Prabhupada, so then we should not say, oh, but we are devotees, we are humble than the blade of grass and tolerant than tree. No, then we become like lions.
Time, place, and circumstance.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah.
So yeah, I was thinking of those three examples also. And yeah, I'm still wondering, do you have any place, any reference where you said that Pariksit Maharaj was confused if the bull was, because it's a very common thing in our Vedic culture that all these things are human personified. Ganga is not just river, there is a human personality behind it. Vayu is not just air, there is a human personality behind it. Earth is not just earth, there is a human personality, there is a cow personified. And even cow personified turns into human and then talks to Lord Vishnu.
Right.
The bull is also a personified of dharma. So I'm not sure where it is said.
So
that,
it is, why I mentioned was like Pariksit Maharaj is thinking that if somebody demigod came here to test me,
where does it say?
I have to find it. Like I just found it in some else. I'll send it to you actually. So just that's what, because he's thinking in that way actually. Like he's thinking that.
Because how this is starting is that Pariksit Maharaj heard in his palace that the effects of Kali Yuga has begun. And he takes the bow and arrow and gets on his chariot and he goes. And when he is reaching here, he is seeing that Kali or king, Kali who is dressed as a king, is beating up cows and a cow and a bull. And that's when he said, okay, you rope, you move away. And then he is addressing bull right now. That okay, what happened?
Okay.
So I was reading this, the remaining part of the verses also, and then yeah, like you said, bull is so honest and so truthful.
Right.
So he's trying to even say, that no, who you can blame? This entire world is now becoming corrupt.
Yeah, that's why like next slokas will be going to explicitly mention that one actually. Right? So because I gave you one of the lecture, one Prabhu is mentioning from his culture, but he said,
Mohan Prabhu.
no, teacher Krishna Prabhu or somebody. So he just mentioning that actually. He's mentioning that word actually. Whenever you see that bull in that situation, he thought of that parrot and everything. So there was Sukha parrot and we heard from the Bhagavad and everything. He's mentioning the example of that one. And he's thinking that maybe like somebody came to test me, like because in previous years also somebody came to test like that, and that's why like he's giving the reference at that time. Yeah. Krishna, any questions? Comments?
Questions, so you said about something about nationality, right?
Right.
So that now the leaders are always about happiness. They think that, true leader will like to think about the happiness of the subjects. So even today, here every leader says, no, that's okay, I'm considering, that's why they try to collect more and more, but without even thinking. So how do they understand that what is the ultimate good? They also, every leader says, okay, I want to make my subjects happy and I'm trying that. And that's what the materialism is going and going on and on. But they think on their own perspective, like my country, the others take resources from other countries. They always think in the relative good, right? So they don't think that can be, like you said, survey Sukhina Bhavantu, right? There is that everyone can be happy. So what is the ultimate good? That was the question that asked, like in the Srimad Bhagavatam, out of the 7 questions, 7 or 8, initially that one question is asked by the sages that what is the ultimate good for all humanity? They don't say relative, it's for this or for this. So that's the thing that the leaders don't understand. That they still say good, and we are trying good, but their vision is limited. So if their vision is like as is connected with the Supreme Lord, because Supreme Lord is taking care of everyone. So even if some country may be happy, some country will be in disaster, and or maybe some king or some politician might think from whole earth perspective, but there can still be calamity, right? And there can still be some other miseries like Ali David or so these kind of misery, no one can get out of it. But that is happening by the superior force, by because there is a Lord who is controlling. So he is because it is also relative, because some arrangement that needs to be fixed. So why the leaders, if they are connected, right, to the Supreme Lord, that even that this misery is happening, but Adidevic, that is also the Supreme Lord is behind. So we still they grow the tolerance, because that no one can fight. So we take the that shelter of the lotus feet of Lord, and we grow these qualities, then it will become easier to go through the miseries as well. So why the leaders have this limited. You were talking about some Modi. I actually very appreciate you. You one of very few who just speaks from heart, right? So just saying all the different kind of very bluntly without even mincing the word. So you said about the leaders, right?
Yes.
There's a couple of examples. So why these leaders have the limited vision? Everybody is having.
So they definitely have a vision. We should not say they don't have vision. They know everything what they're supposed to do, but they want to please the people. Because of that thing, they want to satisfy everybody. They don't want to follow whatever they know. So Bhagavad Gita, Modi might have read Bhagavad Gita, they might have known all those things, but he don't want to follow everything, because that's not good for him and whatever the party that whatever he's serving actually. Because now he wants to satisfy everybody. He goes everywhere. Whoever calls him, he will go everybody. But why? Because he wants to satisfy everybody so that he can benefit in the future. He can go in the government like that, right? And we see like some now great things are happening for sure. That we can say it compulsory. Like Ayodhya, after so many years and years of conflict, finally Ayodhya they are building a temple, right? Something good is happening in it. But so the main reason why they are not propagating what they read or what they know about it is because it's not, even if you give it to the people, right, they think that, okay, he is giving something, he is not following it, basically, like, that's what he will think about it. That's the main reason, like, even they know it, they don't want to give it to the people. They know because leaders, like, they always want to take advantage of the people. What is there for them, what is need for them, and they don't give that eventually. Suppose like if there are so many schemes are going on, free education, free food, and so many other things are going on. Why? Because leaders themselves making the people lazy by doing all of these things. Because they are actually depend on them all the time. Because they need something, they want to come back to him only right now. Because if they give everything to them, like if they took care of them nicely and everything, people also like, okay, he's not a such kind of thing and everything, he's doing something or something like that. Because when they need it, people also, the leader also always want people to depend on him like all the time. Right? That's the reason they know about it, but they don't want to propagate everything to the people here. That's what we are saying. As a leader, you should not be only politician, you should not be saint, you should be saintly also. The two qualities should be there actually. Pariksit Maharaj is showing both the things here. He is a politician at the same time, he is saintly also. He worry about everybody. Okay. He may be coming and propagating all this dharma everywhere somewhere, but he is not saying no to everybody. There are many bad things are happening in the country, but he will not come outside openly and say like, it's not supposed to go. And if you go to some other countries like Dubai or something like that, if somebody do some heinous acts, they will immediately hand him to death. Right? But most of the leaders, they are not doing it. Even the terrorists, they are keeping them in the jails, feeding them for 20, 30 years, and finally they give some punishment. But the leader has to immediately take the punishment, like how is Pariksit Maharaj is going to do it right now here. Right? So that's not there. It's only for, ultimately they do it for their own benefit, but they show to other people that they are as if like they are doing it, but really they are not doing it.
Yeah, so they think that happiness will come only through materialism.
Exactly. Right. Right.
They don't see the spiritual.
Exactly.
Because saintly we see some leaders are saintly as well, but they saintly just being good.
Yes.
And like we see Manmohan Singh, right? But it doesn't mean being just being honest and being good.
Right.
They
He's
they
also
are-
combined with somebody else.
yeah,
He's not doing.
spiritually that they can benefit everyone. And but my question, okay, I had another question.
I have a point on that, though, Prabhu.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if that is still true. If like the politician just wants to make everybody happy so that they can stay in the power, they may be. I mean, most of the times they just lie. I will make this change. I will help with this
I was
immigration
saying the
policy.
best leaders who we can expect, they also think that materially if we make our subject happy, that's best. Yeah, there are every kind of.
But here, 12th canto, second chapter, in this, that symptoms of Kali is given. So here, it's a nice point is made that as the earth does become crowded with a corrupt population, whoever among any of the social classes shows himself to be the strongest will gain political power. So whoever, like Prabhupada said many times, this is a society of cheaters and the cheated. Cheated are the ones who are like, okay, please come and cheat me, and there will always be those leaders who will, even though they have like right intentions, but they'll say, oh wait a minute, these guys are just fools, let me just cheat them. They want to be cheated, so let's cheat them. So it's because it's like the whole society is such a mess in Kali Yuga that there is no question of removing or fixing in the root. It's not possible. Last week we were discussing with Premvilas Prabhu also. Varnashram Dharma also in this age it's impossible. And Srila Prabhupada said that 50% the his 50% work is done with book distribution and setting up temples, but another 50% is to establish Varnashram Dharma. There is a context behind it. The context is that a lot of his disciples, they were falling down. So that's when he said, okay, I set things up, but now we have to give this environment for those whose sadhana is weak. So for them, they can live in this environment of Varnashram Dharma and they can stay stable and then achieve bhakti, pure bhakti. So the idea is that for low, there are levels. There are those who have absolutely no desires to become spiritual. Right?
Yeah.
Then from them they elevate to, oh, I want to become more spiritual. So for them there is Varnashram Dharma to facilitate the environment, right? To facilitate that, okay, they can perform things. And from them, then they become bhakti yoga practitioners. Now you are actually practicing bhakti. So when you are practicing bhakti, it's all about Krishna, it's not about me. So then Varnashram Dharma is now uh, subset. It's already included.
So I think Varnashram Dharma is still there.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
still there,
Yeah, but and everywhere is already there. But because it's about the activities we are doing. But if everybody understands the goal of the life, the spiritual goal, then they will be satisfied with what they are doing and they will do it perfectly. They try to do it perfectly.
But that's not the.
So the Varnashram Dharma, the roles are there, but those roles are being fulfilled by unqualified people.
Yes.
Right. If everything goes properly, then it's not Kali Yuga. Right? So, yeah.
You gave. So I had a question about the agriculture that